Hi Scorpio women. So this is your I Ching Book of Changes reading for February 2017. This reading is just meant to give you insight into your main love relationships this month. So the first two cards are the first hexagrams that you get, and this side belongs to your partner. So your partner will be on this side, and you have hexagram 20. And the position of this is telling you the the grounding of your relationship. So this relationship is grounded in, or the grounding of it is really enhanced by this card, this hexagram, the messages that it reveals. And it also can give you a clue to what is undermining things. So hexagram 20 is contemplation. And this is a card that's really saying that to have a perspective that's considered superior, it's important not to make stark differences between yourself and everything else. So don't feel alienated, because in reality, you're not separated from everything that you're experiencing. So this month is really, this card is asking you to reflect upon what has happened in your life, and it's also saying that by retreating, it's going to bring wisdom to you. So by naturally accepting things just the way they are, without trying to find every kind of way to improve it, might be the answer this month. So whenever you are going too fast, you don't really get the chance to look deeper into the deeper meaning of things. So this card is also saying to slow down. Slow down within the relationship could mean just slowing down racing thoughts that you have. And it's also really important to always remember to not take life for granted. So really just being able to observe what's going on around you, kind of unemotionally, is going to strengthen you. So if you felt out of touch with yourself lately, this card is really telling you that you can find that relationship within yourself by contemplating your inner depths. So as well, maybe getting out into nature and doing that alone this month might help you come back to the relationship with a kind of fresh eyes. Okay, so in the position for your partner, we have hexagram 41, which is decrease. Now remember, this card is telling you what your partner is where your partner is coming from sort of this month, Scorpio women. So this card is saying that maybe there's something that has to be let go, or is being let go of in your partner's life. And it doesn't have to be the end of the world. So this hexagram is asking us to appreciate within nature when nature has to let go, and also to remember that within the kind of Chinese philosophy, there's nothing that's good or bad. So decrease doesn't necessarily mean decrease of money or decrease of love. That's the wrong perspective to take when it comes to the I Ching. Really, it's about remembering that sometimes decreasing can also be part of another cycle of increase in the future. So it's also just acknowledging the importance of the bare minimum. So minimalism might have a role to play in your partner's life this month. So basically just watching out for being too comfortable might be something that your partner needs to worry about a little bit. That's what this hexagram is saying. So even getting too comfortable within the relationship, maybe there needs to be something fresh or something like this. So this hexagram is saying not to worry about sacrificing things at the moment, because when in fact you decrease certain things, you can find out that life is just as enjoyable, if not more so. So cutting back is what is asked for in this with this card. So just think of it as this is the ultimate spring cleaning card. Okay, so the next position of the cards are meant to depict your emotional climate this month. And also what each of you, what is supporting harmony within each of you, and what are the steps that could be taken to really maximize the greater responsibility you have towards the relationship. Also, this card could be saying what are some of the dynamics in terms of communication and blocked communication. This card can also be what is helping you to overcome vulnerability, or not, rather to overcome barriers to being vulnerable, and also what are some of the fears that have emotionally stuck in your psyche, and how perhaps you've been camouflaging them. So this is hexagram 59. It's called dispersion. And here we have an image of many leaves around in a windy cliffside. So this card is saying that sometimes there are obstacles that get in the way of all those leaves being on one tree. And it could be a sign that there needs to be more communication, because when there is miscommunication can also occur within the psyche or within the self. So that happens when we don't acknowledge that we have our own particular feelings or thoughts. So maybe there's just been too much mixing of your thoughts and feelings with your partners. So that in turn makes the self kind of want to withdraw and find its own self again. So this card is saying that requires patience, and also being able to understand that there even is a problem with communication is the first step towards recreating the communication that has been lost. So it's a card that asks for reconciliation. If there have been arguments that have cropped up, maybe see where miscommunication really played a role in that. And remember that being warm is one of the first, so approaching this situation not with a cold heart is going to help bring everything all together. So don't be that chilly wind that's scattering everything. So basically, if oneness or being open has been really difficult, this card is saying that with gentleness and really trying to understand the other person's feelings and even your own can really help to, as well, to disperse the miscommunication that's happened. This card is also saying that if you feel like you would lose face in a situation like this, don't be afraid of losing face, basically, because that's what's going to help this this traffic jam of emotions be free and really free up communication between the two of you. Okay, so your partner has hexagram 61, which is inner truth. And inner truth is kind of just what it sounds like. It's basically saying that The inner truth of your partner is really important to them, and that they need to focus on silence and that voice within them that's not that isn't over emotional. So it's their intuition. It doesn't need anyone's support. So maybe there needs to be a lot of respect for the inner truth of your partner, Scorpio women. This card could be saying that's going to help in the situation. So just respecting their inner voice or their inner truth, because that shines out. Also, sometimes your partner reality can seem different on a day-to-day basis, but it's remembering that they have something internal within them that doesn't change. And that's something that's not going to change in the relationship or not. Also, this card is reminding us that when we want to experience our inner truth, the best thing to do is to shun the ego, because that usually doesn't help the experience of it. And really, the experience of it can be reflected in our attitude towards life as well. If there's a sense of doubt or whatever causes doubt in your partner, that's certainly not their inner truth. So don't be swayed by the doubts of your partner towards you, Scorpio women, as well. So this is a card that's reminding you women out there who are Scorpios to remember that anything that comes from doubt isn't somebody's own eternal inner truth. So don't play into that. Okay, the final cards are the state of mind, the perceptions, and your longings that you have towards the relationship. Maybe you don't voice them. Maybe this card, maybe you have thoughts about how the relationship could be more open and not one of being defensive. So this card is a reminder of little ways that you can change your behavior that will help you reach that point. And this is hexagram 33, and it's retreat. So, and every time I hear this, get this card, I'm reminded I have a Twitter page, so do retweet this reading if you have Twitter. I'm on the handles down below. So this is a card that's showing us how geese are leaving a wintry, what's soon to be a very wintry scene. And this hexagram is reminding us that within nature, we can see how there are certain animals that just intuitively know when to fly away and escape a cold winter. And humans, it's reminding humans that we can have this intuitive knowledge when to withdraw from a situation, be it an argument or just using your intuition to know where not to go with arguments or just generally what not to say, because that's going to go a long way in giving you just better timing and not to worry about things that you don't have control over. So don't rely on your mind, rely on your intuition when it comes to what it is you want to say to your partner. Also, this card can also mean releasing, because that can be a form of retreating. Releasing aspects that you found difficult, arguments, because that amounts to clinging to the past and over-identifying with something. So really just letting go is going to give you a lot more energy to find that warmer place between the two of you. Also, retreat, you can do this physically by going into nature, taking a walk somewhere really pleasant that you love. I know it's winter, but sometimes even just watching a video of a beautiful natural scape on YouTube can do the trick. So you're gonna know when that time is, and don't say no to it. Just remember that you have your own inner guide within you. All right, so for your partner Scorpio women, we have hexagram 45, which is gathering together. And gathering together is seems to be a pretty popular card for relationship spreads. This is images of water coming together, creating a little stream. And we need to remember that all those big rivers and oceans that we see are fed sometimes just by that small gathering of water in the little streams all around the world. So it's a reminder that this can also be duplicated in humans, and it's calling you to come together with each other and also with friends and family, because by doing that you can create something much larger. And this is only usually revealed over a lot of time. So little get-togethers here and there, and social groups that you create over certain ideas, practices, projects can strengthen a sense of community. So Scorpio women, because this card is in the position for your partner, maybe your partner wants you to join in on some of their common social gatherings that you haven't been going to. So accept any invitations, even if it is sitting in on a sports game once in a while or whatever it might be. Participate a little bit. That's what could be the message for this card, because it might be just refreshing. It's also a card that's saying for the partners of Scorpios that they realize that independently they can't just do everything alone. So they're going to need to participate as well within the relationship. Any kind of support right now is going to improve conditions for everyone. Okay, the final card that we pick is the insight card, and this insight card is meant to kind of just give us an overview of everything. And I've picked hexagram 13, which is companionship. And this is a beautiful card for relationships because it's a reminder that you don't ever have to lose yourself. You don't have to make yourself and your potential less, because within a relationship that's fair, that has companionship as an element, also your individual potential can grow. That's also important within the community as well. So for community endeavors, you can increase and maintain your own human potential within that. It's really insisting that by combining forces, that's one of the strongest ways to remember our own potentials. It's also calling for respect of one another's potential. There's two people, so really remembering that your partner has their own potential that they want to reach is going to be it's an important message of this card. Even if you have different backgrounds, as many people do, as we all do really, if we can be sincere and learn to trust one another, we all have the ability to have our dreams met, live our dreams, so to speak. So it's reminding us that by being trusting, trust is one of the most important conditions for releasing that potential. So the more, or the less rather, that each one is, counting how much the other is giving or keeping score, and the more everyone has to give of themselves. And that creates real unity. So this card is also saying that to remember who it is that loves and respects you, and go where you're being celebrated. All right, so this was the reading for Scorpio women. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe and share. And if you would like a private reading, please email me at the email below. Thanks so much. See you next month.